What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's a chill Friday night. You're listening to the sounds of YouTube copyright-free music, setting the mood for the moon, our lovely cosmic neighbor. The hell am I talking about? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. We're back at it on a Friday night because we can be. Oh, so this guy can pop into chat, but he can't answer Skype. I see. Okay. Oh, yeah, now I see it. All right. Yeah, I see how it is, Mark. And hello to Tim and Justin, Fantasy, and Legless Lex, and Barry, and Chris, and Atropa, I think that is. And Sweet Sketch. Hello, everybody, and everybody watching but not participating in the chat. Feel free to participate in the chat. The chat here is very chill. We have some sarcastic people, myself being one of them. Yeah. And I'll probably get Ding Dong in the chat there on with me, too, because tonight it's on the P&K channel, not on the Mark D'Antonio channel. So we'll get a little nutty over on this side, if you know what I mean. So let me answer his, because he said he answered me, but I see one from Bilbo, not from him. But I'm going to find out. I'm going to go look right now. All right. I'll be right back. Enjoy the sights. Enjoy the awesome music? Question mark? I don't know. I'll be back. Okay, the music's gonna die out for like a minute or two, while I call Mark. That way I don't blast your ears with the Skype tone. I don't know if anybody's ever realized this, but for some reason, if you've ever used Skype, when you call somebody or somebody calls you, the tone is so freaking loud, it feels like your head's gonna explode. And there's no way to really adjust it. So I don't want to blare everybody's ears out with that ding dong ding ding, you know. So I'm just going to cut all sound out, call him, get him on the line, and then come back on, and then we'll have a little fun. Wow, what is that in that crater? It's funny looking. Interesting. Anyway, we'll be back at it. So yeah, you'll hear the music die out. Don't be alarmed. It's just me getting hold of Ding Dong. Once I get hold of Ding Dong, we'll be back on. Coming up soon, Mark D'Antonio from the Travel Channel, Disney Channel, HBO Max, Cinemax. No, he's probably not from any of those, but he is from the Discovery Channel and the Travel Channel and Discovery Plus and all that other stuff. So he'll be back with me in a short time. Bear with me. Let me go get him on. So yeah, then we'll just join in the party with everyone. You know what? They probably can't hear you though because I have this set on my speaker. So let me do this. Hold on, hold on. Everybody, hold on. Mark has to be difficult. Let me see. Properties here. I know they're not hearing you though. Thank God. Here we go. I'm going to set it to my headphone speakers out for you. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, speakers. There we go. Okay. Now let's try that.
All right. That's good.
And everybody should be hearing both of us. Let us know if the sound is okay. It should be. I didn't change it since last time, so we should be good.
Kirabrowski, not Trieste, but Trieste Street.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark D'Antonio is joining me once again because
Hello, folks.
we can act a little nuttier on this channel.
Well, that's because I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have a home. Actually, the observatory out in the desert is in a maintenance mode tonight, so we're not running it. And but we will be back online as soon as we're out of that.
Nice. And hello to Montana Horseman. I haven't seen him in a while. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I saw Montana Horseman earlier.
And Milestone Johnny and Zach Mansour.
That's Milestone Journey, by the way.
Junie?
Journey.
Yeah. See?
Milestone Journey 2K21.
That's what I said.
2K121. You said Johnny.
I didn't say Johnny, did I?
Oh, yes, you said.
Oh, okay.
And you did get Zach Diecast Mansour. Yes, you did.
Guys, can we have like a thing for 2022? We can just make our YouTube names a little easier. You know? Remember that one that came in the other night? It was like Mara Mucky Mama or something like that. It was...
Oh, I had
What'd
one.
you say? It was like Taiwanese or something like that.
Yeah, I had one. Was it Muggy Doo Moogie Moogie or something like that?
Yeah. They're getting crazy.
Oh. Well, that might have been a real name. Just
they're getting better though. I mean, a lot of people are using just single words and stuff instead of like full blown sentences as their YouTube names.
Yeah. I would have to. I admit. Remember when Brandy was in? She had symbols that she used for her name. I thought that was really cute. That was really clever.
Yeah. She hasn't been around in a while either.
I know.
Living a good life out in Wisconsin.
I don't know where she is.
Tanner, dude, man.
Yeah, that's right.
So how's everybody doing tonight? Talk to us. We're doing this.
Tanner Dude Man says he spies something with his something gray. Well, that could just be, part of the moon. The moon isn't always gray. The moon actually has lots of colors on it. It just sums to gray for our eyes. It's got red soil, white soil, yellow soil, browns, and shades of gray. Yes. But man, it's a colorful place.
Paul likes to have the moon in pink or red for some reason. It might not even show up like that on his side, but every time he comes live, it has like a reddish tint to it. And if I put it back to normal, you'll see this.
Wait, you have it? Are you using
it's very pinkish.
Color correction? Using a color correction filter? And
I'm doing that right now. I'm dropping the saturation down, so it's not so pink. Well, I left a little pink in there, but not. I mean, this is what it looks like,
But you can actually raise the green and blue.
Oh, I know that. What I'm saying is, I don't like doing that because that's on Paul's end. The only thing I'll do is just drop some red out of his feed to me. Yeah, because I don't think it looks like this to him. It's something to do with the in between with the feed, the intake channel, and something like. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So I usually just drop it down a little bit, and I don't know. And red does relax the eyes, so maybe that helps view. Wow, that looks really good, actually.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to Clavius Crater. Yeah, and hello, Wendy.
Wendy M is here. I see Wendy. There she is. Wendy. Fantasy, Roni. A lot of people that we have over in Sky Tour live stream right here too.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces.
Roni Hassan,
yeah. We have our classic chatters, and then we have a lot of people just like watch for the views, which is even better. Yeah. If you don't like the audio you hear, you can always just mute us and put on whatever music you want to. We are not offended by that whatsoever. We're just kind of here shooting the shit just to be.
You are offended, Bill. You've told me that. You said when they turn us down and just do other things, I really hate that. You said.
Yeah, I can definitely see me saying that. Sure.
And you say, I hope they unsubscribe from my channel and go over to your channel.
Well, we're really pushing it now, aren't we, Mark?
Yeah, right.
But no, I don't mind because it's all about the eyes. We need the eyes on the screen.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
That way we don't miss anything.
Like you did in January 25th, 2019.
That's none of your damn business, sir, and I thank you to stay out of my personal affairs.
You were seconds away from catching it, and just at the but how was anyone to know?
Truthfully, if I went back, I think we actually might have caught it, but we haven't went that in depth to review the footage. We might have had it.
I would love to see that you got it
because we were actually, I think, closer than. I mean, we were showing the full moon, but I think we were a little closer than everybody else was.
You were, but you popped out of the view
Yeah.
literally about 1.5 seconds before the meteor struck.
Yeah. Just,
It's like,
let's go look at the top of the moon up close, and then the meteor strikes down bottom.
and then the meteor strikes down below. And of course, none of us really knew that's what it was. I thought it was a camera glitch.
Yeah. Right.
At first, and then somebody in the chat said, "Do you see that flash?" Yeah, I saw that flash. I wonder what that
That's
was,
right.
and I followed up.
Because we confirmed it with Griffith.
Yeah.
Because Griffith called it too. Griffith Observatory out there in California. Yep. Darren, do you guys think the moon is hollow? Well, the moon is kind of hollow.
Well,
got hollow passages.
Oh, don't go down that path. That's not true.
What are you talking about? You mean to tell me the Earth's not flat?
Yeah, you know what? Don't even go there. I mean, the Earth, of course, is flat. Everybody knows that.
Well, it's not very dense. Is that the proper term?
No.
Until you get to the core.
It's all right. The bottom line is it gets denser and denser as you get to the core.
Right. See,
but
I was right.
The moon has lava tubes, but those are all
talking about.
Those are all superficial surface features, just under the surface, subsurface features. You know. Well, he's talking about the hollow moon, and they usually get it from the fact that the moon rings. Yeah, but you know what? Have you ever been to Ringing Rock State Park right there in your state of Pennsylvania?
I haven't, but I've seen it.
Okay. You take a hammer and you hit the rocks and they ring. Well, they don't ring because they're hollow. They ring because they're not hollow. They ring specifically because they're solid, you know, and very, very homogeneous through their construction. That they're almost the same to the core. And the moon is kind of like that. So when meteors strike the moon, the shock waves reverberate several times because there's nothing to slow it down. I mean, it's all pretty much the same density once you get in there, and it's all, you know, rock that has cooled from being molten mostly.
Right.
Maybe the very core of the moon is still molten or a little molten, but not much. So on the Earth, if we send a seismic pulse down or we get a large explosion on one side of the Earth, it bounces around off the outer core and the inner core, bounces around and goes in the mantle and kind of gets sloshed around and lost a little bit. But we still can map the inside of the Earth by sending down signals.
Yeah, but wouldn't that in space not really be considered a ring until it became audible? It's more like a vibration. Because weren't they in the craft when they heard that?
Well, yeah, nobody really heard it. It was actually from the seismic sensors. It recorded a change in the seismic activity. Gotcha. That's what the ring was.
Gotcha.
Now, what you could do is you could say, okay, if the seismic needle goes up, say, to level 2, make it have this tone. And then if it goes to 3, make it a higher tone. And so you could actually make it go, wee, 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 wee. You know, you could actually make it a sound, you know, if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the moon only rings because it's nearly solid. It's exactly the opposite of what people think.
There you go, Mark. One of our most favorite questions we get all the time. What about all the impact craters of the moon being limited in depth?
Oh, I thought it was if the Earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off it by now.
Right.
Thanks, Gary. That's cute. That's cute. No. Where does he say that? And who said that? Oh, okay.
Legless Lex.
Legless Lex. Okay. Yeah, actually, they're actually not. It's not that they're limited in depth. It's the impactors were limited in the energy they can impart to the moon. But I can tell you right now, they're not all the same depth. Right. In fact, using the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter Quick Map site, you can actually navigate the moon and then use the tools along the left side. There's some tools you can use to draw a profile draw a line across a crater, and you get a side profile showing you all the ups and downs, the altitude and depths. And you'll see very, very quickly that if you draw a long line across the moon, across several craters that look like they're the same depth, you'll quickly find that they're not, actually. So that's, and they're not limited in depth. When you see flat bottom craters, what are you actually seeing there? Well, if an impactor strikes the moon, the first thing that happens is, of course, it gets vaporized. And the second thing is it vaporizes some surrounding terrain. And what does that do? It means that it splashes out a lot of stuff, but then inside, there's a lot of molten material for a period of time. And molten material settles into what? A flat pond surface, basically, like these craters we see here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And shadows are a basic giveaway. You're right, Montana, because you can look at this image on the screen right now, and you can see the shadows in each one of these craters. Like somewhat look all like the same depth, but you have one in complete darkness in the top right, and then look at all the different size shadows. That's all depth related.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not really. Okay,
For the
let me
most part.
explain.
Shut up.
Hey, watch it. Actually,
Smarty pants.
What you're looking at, though, is changes in the topography of the area surrounding the craters. If you look at the crater on the left,
Yeah.
look at the high crater wall compared to the crater on the right. It's a little bit lower on the right. At the upper right, which is sort of going out of view, that was highest of all. So you saw all this convolution and darkness in there because there was a very high wall that was causing that to put shade, cast shadow into the crater interior. That's oh, look at Clavius there.
Beautiful.
That's just stunning. Yeah, that's it. I think I see the moon base.
Yeah.
From 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is in the big crater, right?
Yeah, that's right. And and of course, as everybody knows, we lost Douglas Trumbull, the man behind all the visual effects for 2001. We were good friends, and it's really sad to have lost him. Actually, I was reviewing our last project we did together. We did a movie about Nikola Tesla up at Niagara Falls, and I reviewed just about I'd say 50 to 80 pictures of Doug and I working on that with our crew up there, with the crew, and it was really a poignant time. But
now,
yeah,
does that mean you're gonna have to go ahead with UFOTOG yourself, or what's up?
Yeah, actually, I contacted Jacques Vallée today, and Jacques and I are going to talk. Jacques, of course, is a man who's very important in ufology, and he told a friend of mine that he wants to talk to me as well. So we're going to talk. Jacques was, of course, one of Doug's very good friends, and we spent time together, and I'll drop a photo into chat for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But you know what? The point being that people, they're here for a brief period of time. We all are.
Yeah.
And it's no fun when they go. Let me tell you, especially the talents like that. But I'll tell you one thing. I really learned a lot from him.
I'll tell you what. If I keel over, you better have a parade for me.
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is come down and steal everything you stole from me.
Steal it back. I was gonna say, take my truck and put that UFO in the back and go riding through Brooklyn with it.
Yeah.
But
there you go. That's the picture I just sent you. That's me, Jacques, and Doug at the 2016 UFO Congress, where Doug and I spoke together. We did a joint talk together, and Jacques was being interviewed by Lee Spiegel.
Spiegel.
Yeah, and of course, Doug and Jacques were very happy to see each other again because they're very good friends.
Nice.
Really cool.
Very nice.
Oh, Fantasy says, have I ever been on Coast to Coast? Yeah, I was actually on Coast to Coast. And it went all right. It was fun. But,
Yeah, who was it with, though? Was it with Art or was it with Nori?
No, it was Nori. Yeah.
Nori's all right, but nobody's ever going to beat Art Bell and his passion for the topics at hand.
Yeah, and you can't go into Coast to Coast thinking it's going to be. Yeah. It's a new concern now. So you have to just, accept what it is, and it's pretty cool.
Art Bell was one of a kind.
I know. I miss the guy. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, the passion that guy showed just by being on the air and giving people their due and asking the right questions. Like Bill reminds me a lot of him.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
And that's why I always said Bill would be a perfect replacement for Coast to Coast, because I think it would be like the reincarnation of Art Bell.
Oh my gosh! Tell Bill that he'll be like, "Yeah, that's true."
I think so. Anyway, his passion for the subject.
I don't think that's an untrue statement.
Yeah,
I think that's a true statement, man.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace to Mr. Douglas Trumbull.
Yeah.
Special effects wizard.
Yep.
Another one of a kind.
Yep. Learned a lot from the guy. I did. I modeled my visual effects business after him, and then when I found out that he lived just an hour from me, I did a show on NPR. And when I got off NPR, the guy was leading me out of the studio, and he goes, "I got to get you on with Doug Trumbull next time." I went, "What?"
Sweet.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. And he says, "Yeah, Doug Trumbull's a UFO hunter like you are." Like, I did not know that.
Right?
So I wrote Doug, back here at the house when I got home, and said, "Man, I'd love to talk to you about UFOs and stuff like that." And well, Doug ended up going to the website fxmodels.com, which is my visual effects company, and he saw all the models we did. He goes, "These are excellent in every respect." He goes, "When can you come up? I think I have work for you right now." He says, "Can you come up tomorrow?" I was shaking when I met the guy. "Hi, Mr. Trumbull."
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, though, Douglas Trumbull, not only was he, special effects, visual effects, stuff like that, but he was like a pioneer when it comes to actually shooting film and
Oh, he
displaying
was.
that film.
Yes, he was.
He did Back to the Future, the ride.
Yes, he did.
Among
Longest running ride.
Yeah, among tons of other things, and I think he was in the middle right now of creating what did he call it, like hyper theater or something like that.
Well, we were creating the pod theaters up at the studio.
Yeah,
The pods are finished, but it's Magi is the name of the process, and it was 3D at 120 frames per second in 4K or 8K, whatever whatever we can get.
right.
And basically, the bottom line is when you watch this in 3D, the screen is 4 times brighter than what it normally is, and when somebody quote unquote steps out of the picture onto the floor in the theater with you, you'd swear they're standing on the floor of the theater with you.
Yeah,
Very realistic, and it makes you giddy just to watch one of these movies. And we did several movies in that format. Our first one was a short test film called Ufotog, and that was stunning. And it used such illusions as, the CIA was broke into the theater, turned on the lights behind the screen, and you see the girder work and metal support structure behind the very screen you're looking at.
Hmm.
And somebody comes up to the screen and pushes on it and looks through the fabric because it's semi-transparent, says, "There's people here." And you see him pushing on the screen, and the screen's coming out toward you. And so they drop the screen. And the screen drops down, and you watch the screen that you've been watching just fall to the floor. And now you have real people standing in front of you, and they step over the screen into the theater with you and say, "All right, everybody just sit still. We have to debrief you." I mean,
I'd run.
You know what? It's great. And the other thing that was fun in that is when we actually ran the space shuttle launch from the cockpit perspective and from the booster perspective. And we ran it in the theater in 3D with all this.
Man, I bet that was
Oh
wild.
my gosh. Wild. I screamed like a little girl. And I didn't even. No, I'm serious.
You do have a fantastic little girl scream.
Thank you. And I didn't even know that I was doing it.
Wow.
I mean, Doug's sitting next to me, and he says,
"Is there
"Yeah,
footage
watch
of
this."
that? I'd pay for that."
Yeah, no.
Oh.
And Doug's sitting next to me, and he goes, "Yeah, watch this." And Josh was in the back. He says, "Josh, run the shuttle thing." Okay. He runs the shuttle thing, and as I'm sitting there, now the seats rumble and bounce and move. Okay, because the entire theater's on these giant springs, and they move. You feel the launch viscerally.
It's like a park ride. It was better.
Almost. Well, remember, he did the Back to the Future. He did the Luxor ride. He's the one that created
Very interactive.
That ride. He's the one that created that genre of ride.
Right.
The Star Tours ride and the Back to the Future ride. Those are all his creations.
You know what was breaking technology when I was growing up? Remember those, like, you can go to a arcade, like say on a boardwalk or something, and you can shoot those cowboys with a gun, but they were real life things.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yep.
No, I don't know why I just thought about that, but it was very interactive. And Douglas Trumbull was one of those guys very into interactive, theater, and
he was. He wanted to change the nature of film.
He did
because he did. Yeah. Can you imagine if Trumbull had been turned loose on a Close Encounters 2 or something?
Yeah. Today's technology. Jeez.
Oh, you have no idea. It would be a 3D film done the way we do the films.
It would be a breakthrough, kind of like Avatar was when it first came out.
You betcha.
With the motion photography,
Yeah. Well, Jim Cameron was at the studio because for the next Avatar, he was thinking of using our process or the process Doug developed up there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's still on the table. It may be. because it is a process that's well known now. Because Doug did take the time to patent everything.
It's just crazy. Like that Avatar just unloaded a bunch of technology on Hollywood. It came to facial capture, like and actually letting the actors actually act and do all the facial thing and actually capture that and just apply it to a mask.
Yeah.
Of something else. It just, and then you just see it, and then of course Marvel then took that with the Incredible Hulk stuff and
Yeah.
But it's crazy how much Avatar influence and
Yeah.
it's just I can imagine Trumbull in this day and age, 2022, with the technology available. It would have been insane, and you're talking Grammys and everything else.
Yeah. If you've seen ESPN, have you ever seen how the commentators are like sitting around a 3D football field right in front of them, and then they moved and talked to it, and then move stuff right in front of you on the table?
Yeah,
that was developed at Trumbull Studios. That was a process created for ESPN by Doug, and it had to do with 14 motion capture cameras that were up in the ceiling, capturing motions of this system, and it really was a beautiful thing. And it's just neat to see it because it just becomes a standard fixture in a mocap studio,
right.
motion capture studio, or in a in a sportscaster's green screened area, green screened studio.
And that, once again, it applies across all platforms because okay, well, let's just be honest. The first places to adopt new technology, and if we're going to be 100% honest, and children hold your ears, but is the porn industry. They adopt things first, not to the scale that what everybody else does, but when it comes to technology, internet, porn is ahead of everybody. Then major studios start adapting that, and then eventually goes to gaming. Now you're starting to get the real lifelike gaming. And once again, the motion capture is all being done for games now.
I was actually going to say that it wasn't that industry, that particular industry, but it was actually the gaming industry that seems to take the lead on virtual reality stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about the porn industry does more like technology when it comes to internet, getting stuff out there. I
don't know. You seem to have too much information about this, Keith. Yeah.
No, it's true. You can read it anywhere. It's it's not a hidden fact. I mean, it's if you want something to become popular in the way stuff is distributed, or they're the companies to go to because they're the first ones to implement it because their main job is to get eyes on their product.
Hey, look, it's Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Like that squishy stuff.
Yeah, right.
Welcome back to the Whisker Biscuit channel.
You're just like too much, man.
Well,
yeah, no, it's cool. It's very funny, but I just think that the technology was really good, and I hope this is going to pass with him because unfortunately there really isn't anyone to lead the charge now that he's not here. But there may be people that are capable of picking it up.
Right. Somebody will step up.
I think that's true. I mean, I have a knowledge of it based on my involvement with him over the last near decade, actually.
Right.
But not nearly what he's got. I mean, I can't do all the things that he did with it.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the new Ghostbusters movie?
Oh, I did not see the new Ghostbusters.
It's actually really good. I was actually pleasantly surprised.
All right, that's cool.
It stayed to its roots with the original, and yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised by it. I actually really enjoyed it.
Does the Ghostmobile still go?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not going to say what Family Guy said about that kind of siren, but
oh, they sound like your tortoises,
right? No, they said something about never mind. But
okay.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. Yeah. But
know what that sounds like, Brian?
Exactly. You can look it up on
I'll tell you what it sounds like.
But
Get away from me.
Yeah.
Lois.
It was really good though. If nobody's checked it out there in the chat, just go ahead and don't be afraid to. It's actually really good. And Harold Ramis makes an appearance, and they aged up. I like the fact that they aged up Egon and not Harold Ramis.
Well, Harold Ramis died.
I know, but when they could have easily just aged up Harold Ramis, but they went and actually adjusted the stuff from his movies instead of him personally. So it looked like Egon just aged up, not Harold Ramis. You know, how Harold Ramis was a little heavier in life, you know, so this guy was a little skinnier. You can tell his facial structure was a lot more from, you know, back in the Ghostbusters days. Still a little heavier, but not, you know, not what actually Harold Ramis was.
Hadn't he died before the movie was made?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did that totally by capturing his face in all the other Ghostbusters movies and whatnot.
Yeah. And then they built a body. Yeah, that's that's the future of CG, is that kind of thing, is do full body replacement.
Yeah, but I like the way they did it, because they did it with that Star Wars chick at one time. The reason why that didn't work so well is because they made her talk, and it just didn't look right. With this Harold Ramis one, he didn't talk throughout the whole movie. He was completely silent. It was just him in ghostly form per se. But it worked really well done, and you can tell Ivan Reitman's son. Yeah. And you can tell Ivan Reitman's son definitely did it and paid homage to his dad and how his dad originally did. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Check it out.
All right.
How was that?
Oh, not me.
Mr. Gurness.
Oh, what's he got going on?
Let me see here.
The moon is pink. What do I do?
No, he's probably telling me to turn the pink back on. Oh, we're gonna go to wide field for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Just so you know, so we're going to kick this out. Oh, my Lord. So he keeps seeing something flashing, passing, and that's why he wants to go to wide field.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do.
Nice. Let's see what we can catch.
Yep. Probably dead Starlink satellites crashing into the atmosphere.
Yeah, you know, that's. I wonder if that's going to slow down what Starlinks they are, because we're waiting for Starlink to reach the desert for us, because right now the internet comes and goes sometimes out in the desert, because we don't have all the we don't have everything up. Like right now it's up, but it's not guaranteed that it'll stay up. You know, because there's a problem with authentication out there sometimes.
Hey, why don't you answer Darren Miranda's question in the chat there?
Darren Miranda? Where's Darren Miranda?
Right there on the screen. I have to do everything. All right, I'll read it to you. Ready?
No, I see it now. Hold on. How high is the tallest ridge or mountain on the moon? Okay, well, I don't actually have the exact numbers, but I can tell you that the highest spot on the moon is not anywhere we're seeing now. It's actually on the other side of the moon, on the far side.
Yep.
And what's weird is, I can tell you how it happened, and I can also tell you somewhat how the lowest spot on the moon happened. That area is called the Aiken Basin.
Okay, you got 1 minute. Go.
AITKEN Basin. It's on the far side of the moon, and it's lower than the mean radius of the moon. We figure everything by the mean radius of the moon, whatever that mean radius is. If it's above it, it's plus. If it's below it, it's minus. Right. And the Aiken Basin is minus thousands of meters. That said, the highest ridge is north of the Aiken Basin, because whatever it was that caused that Aiken Basin was a gigantic impactor, and then that giant impactor made effectively ripples in the land because it was seismic ripples, and one of those seismic ripples made a very, very tall ridge, and that's on the far side of the moon, north of the Aiken Basin.
There you go. There. Wow, you did it, and that was like 48 seconds. Good.
48.
Hold on, let me stand up. I got to stand up for this.
Oh, stop.
That was freaking fantastic.
Oh, my God.
I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it.
What do you want?
What do you want? Do it, man.
What do you want?
You know what I'm going to do? We haven't done this in a real long time, and since we got a bigger crowd tonight,
we're going to play Jeopardy?
No, we're going to find out where everybody's from in the chat. Don't give us your exact location. We don't need your town and your street name. Just a general area. So if you're like, say, where I am, I'm in between Lancaster and Philadelphia. I would say Philadelphia, or Lancaster. You don't have to say exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
But where is everybody from? Even the people that are watching but aren't chatting, just type in the chat real quick, so that way we can find out where everybody's coming from tonight. Because it's a Friday night. We're not doing anything. It's actually pretty warm here on the East Coast, which is fantastic.
It is. It's about 50 here, and it was over.
And we're going to start shouting out some places here. Wow,
Hey,
we got
Legolas is from
Virginia.
Uranus.
Justin T is not in North Korea, but he likes to be funny. Greece,
Divine
Northeast
Appointment
Tennessee,
is Northeast
Chicago,
Tennessee.
Oklahoma, Louisiana, Jacksonville, the Ukraine. T's and P's for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on there?
Yeah.
Southwest Ohio.
I think that's probably not correct.
Outside Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Uh,
Be right back.
wherever Burb is.
She's from the burbs.
Rest in peace, PlayStation Network.
Uh-huh.
Beefport, Kentucky. There's a place in what is it? I think it's Tennessee. But Mark, I shit you not. This place is called Bucksnort.
No, sir.
Yes. It's literally called, and I had to stop and I had to get a shot glass there because I was like, there's no way I'm leaving the state without a shot glass that says Bucksnort.
Well, that's like people that go to Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. That's literally, 10 miles from me. Pittsburgh, PA, Ontario, Canada, Miami. So, Paul, you got somebody down there with you. Richmond, Virginia. Wow, people are from all over. Got a lot of stateside.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were, Goiânia, Brazil.
What were you looking at? Was that? Oh, yeah, Goiânia.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. It sounds like it.
Yeah, that sounds
Goiânia,
right.
Brasil.
We got Ohio.
Best place in the world. Sí.
Right.
Es la verdad.
Well, welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
We are slowly in the northern hemisphere here, heading towards spring, finally, because winters are just, I hate it. I do. Like, the older I get, the more I'm like, you know what?
The more you're like me.
Yeah, you know what? I always made fun of you, and now I'm kind of like, you know what?
That's right.
Mark might have a thing here.
Yeah.
But there you are still sitting in Connecticut when you could be out in Arizona.
Well, I might be somewhat soon.
Oh, when you move to Arizona, I guess
Yeah.
I can bring a big trailer up and we can just pack all your stuff in there and just head out west, right?
Sure.
Because I can do that because I have a 32-foot box trailer.
Well, don't forget that you can also go out there and hang out at Marianne's because she invited you.
Well, I'm doing that without you because she likes me more than you. But
I know that, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'll be out there. We'll let you sleep in the trailer, and then we'll let you know when the weekend's over, and then we'll finally get to work.
I slept in that trailer for
Astronauticals from
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. You should put a little.
It was in the desert.
Jesus, just knocked myself out with the microphone. Yeah. Well, I know you're already using the land, so you don't really want to push it. But how cool would it be to like put a little pop-up camper or something out there as well? Like when you go out.
I did. I actually had.
Wow, you are the worst house guest.
I had a 30-foot trailer on the in the desert out there, right next to the observatory.
You are horrible. You're
like, no.
Can I use this land and can I put a shed on it and can I use your electric and you know what? I'm just gonna put a house here next to my observatory.
The electric? No.
Can I use your hose and run some bathroom supplies?
While I was doing the install.
Oh, okay.
And the water is free. The electricity is free because it's all off the grid.
All right.
The observatory is green, 100% green. Now, how about that?
Yeah.
It's 100% green. Energy comes from the sun. Water comes from.
You can't say 100% green.
Why?
Because what's the observatory built from?
Well, it's power consumption. Everything is green.
What's the computer inside the observatory made from?
Leaves.
See what I'm saying? You can't say 100%. But you can say as much as I possibly could. It's renewable stuff and not to desecrate the land.
Well, the concept of green has to do with the power grid that you're picking off of, and where does your water come from? Where's your food come from?
Hey, you can justify it however you want. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just giving you definitions.
100%. Yeah, I know. I don't need definitions. I'm just telling you.
Oh,
we're the worst house guest ever.
You are?
Yeah. Oh, I know I am. I'll come in there, fart on your cushions and everything. I don't even care.
Well, you know something?
As a matter of fact, the last time I was at Mark's, I went there and I asked his wife what pillow was his, and I pooed right into it as I was squeezing it. So next time he lays his head on it. Yeah. How many times you washed that pillow since?
Oh man, I thought it was the dog. I beat her up.
No, it was like, and then left.
and then Fwa.
Yeah. Fua, Febreze.
Yeah, yeah, Febreze.
Mark's over there spraying it with like Lysol, trying to figure what's that smell?
What happened here? Why does it smell like pizza and beer?
Why does it smell like burnt hair and turds?
Oh,
It was a salad day. Let me alone.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the moon.
A Turkish bean salad, it's like, oh.
Dude, that sounds like a name. Never mind. Like, you have how they have like Dirty Sanchez or something like that. It's like, yeah, well, how about a Turkish bean salad?
Oh, stop. You're being so unfair to your listeners.
I know. Welcome to P&K. We are not as serious as they are on the Sky Tour live stream.
Sky Tour live stream has to be a little more serious because, we're appealing to a group of people that, can also be on college campi.
Don't you think that's dangerous, though? Okay, listen, college campuses, you have professors that curse and, basically drunk when they show up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be, in this day and age, you don't have to be so straight.
No. I understand
and I get why you do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, getting on your case for doing it that way. I understand it. But you also don't want to put yourself in a box. And that's what I'm scared of.
Box. I don't think we're in a box because there's really no one out there that does what we're doing with the Deep Sky Observatory.
Well, true, but you have two things. You have two things with it. Two scary things while doing the whole YouTube thing with all this. You have putting yourself in a box, which we did back in 2019. That's why we switched it up. Mm-hmm. And the next thing is becoming repetitive. And that's the hardest one not to do, especially with us when we're doing the moon. Like, everybody's seen this view 400 times already.
475.
So what's the one thing that we could change to make it different? And it's fart jokes because of Turkish bean dip or whatever it was.
Turkish bean salad.
Right. So we figure, okay, well, why don't we do a lot more talking? That way, if people want to hear something besides the awesome, read my sarcasm, the awesome copyright-free YouTube playlist, then we'll just, it's easier just to sit on here and bullshit and, just be people and not, trying to drive home, points or whatever. It's just like we're hanging out. And that's what I love about this channel. I like what it's become because it's just like everybody's just hanging out, having a good time.
Sure.
And I think it's great. And I think the people like it because obviously, we have 120 watching right now.
I know it.
Hey,
and if they haven't subscribed to Sky Tour live stream, maybe they could do that too.
There it is.
What do you want? Observatory's up out there right now.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll fish from your stream.
That was funny.
Oh, Mr. D'Antonio. Truthfully, though, if you listen to me and Mark, we bicker a lot, but it's all in fun. We've actually become very good friends in the last,
14 minutes.
Yeah. I was going to say 5 or 6 minutes, but all right. If you were considering us friends 14 minutes ago, I'll go with it.
There you go. Well, that's longer than you were going to give us.
Yeah.
No, I've known Keith for years. Actually, the thing is, in all honesty, serious now, Keith is the reason I'm streaming at all, to be fair.
That is true.
He told me, he says, you really ought to be streaming. You got a great idea, so you should get out there and do it, So
I'll tell you
that's what we're doing.
This is why I respect Mark. Because if there's one thing that Mark...
Here it comes.
No, this is true. If there's one thing that Mark listens to me about, is YouTube. Yeah. You have never questioned me on anything when it comes to YouTube, and everything you've done, I think I've pretty much pointed you in the right direction every single time.
You have, actually. I've never actually doubted you for a minute.
Right.
And thanks to people like Isabella, who's in our stream all the time.
Absolutely.
She creates our chapters, and she does the chronology of the objects in the stream. She goes over it. We're not able to pay anybody to do this stuff.
Right.
We operate entirely on donations. And pretty soon, we're going to have a $100 per month bill for our internet, which is going to be 20 times faster than what it is.
Oh, let me answer Jennifer real quick. Jennifer, yes, it's just the moon tonight, but we also have the big scope out. Paul's just taking a break right now on the wide field. We'll actually go back to the big scope and be zooming craters and all that stuff in about 5 minutes or so.
Crater diving is a lot of fun.
Crater spelunking. By the way, I am not the only one with a pooter tutor now. Just so you all know, Mark D'Antonio, Mr. TV Man, also
What are you
has
talking
one.
about?
So if you hear those noises coming out of this stream, it's also
Oh,
him.
whoa. Hey. Don't start hanging that on me. I'm
Oh,
not
I'm
doing
going
that.
to. Oh, hanging you out to dry, sir.
Oh, man, that is just so not true. Not fair. Not fair.
Yeah,
Not
where are
fair.
the UFOs? The UFOs. And hello, David Schmidt. Why, man, I just totally blanked out. I didn't even see David came in.
Yeah, Dave was in about 10 minutes, and I meant to say hi, but you wouldn't let me talk, so that's
hello,
okay.
Mr. Schmidt. Well, people hear you talking off. Let's go down the list of the, because let's go down where people can see you, because this is something I wanted to do with you for a while.
What?
Okay? Because we're going to go TV, because a lot of people have TVs. A lot of people have ditched the cable, obviously, but you can see highlights on YouTube and Hulu and all that other stuff. So we got,
Sure, yeah.
the earliest I remember you, this is just me, is Aliens on the Moon.
He gets. That was
Okay.
years ago.
You
That was on
also
Netflix.
have NASA's Unexplained Files.
Yeah, that was
You have
that was on Discovery.
right. You
First,
have
like 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
what is it? What on Earth?
Yeah, that was about 3 or 4, 5 seasons actually, and that was Travel Channel, I think.
And then which ones am I missing? For I know you were on like a couple episodes of Ancient Aliens, but it was just reused footage of your earlier.
It was relicensed stuff from earlier
right.
appearances and things, but no. I'm currently engaged in a History Channel series called The Proof is Out There.
Yeah, The Proof is Out There. That's right.
History Channel is owned by A&E. I think it's like all the same.
Right.
So The Proof is Out There, and then right now on Discovery Plus, our episode, it's a 2-hour documentary that we did, and I was like one of the cast members with Ben Hansen and Melissa Tidal, and we ended up doing a show called Alien Invasion Hudson Valley.
Yes, that was a good one.
Well, there was a lot of stuff that happened there that I could not explain, and I went into it thinking, boy, I hope that they don't think I'm terrible for not, buying into some of these things they're going to try to show. And then it turned out that I had things happen I couldn't understand. Like, I was standing in the middle of a room in a house just about 20 miles from here, a house I've been in many times. But now, as an investigator looking at a phenomena of a creature that apparently lived in that house that was being seen, I didn't believe it. And I kind of voiced my opinion that I really didn't know if that was real or not. And as soon as I said that, my feet were frozen to the floor. I couldn't move. And I'm like, what the heck? Come on, what is this? And I couldn't understand it. And then they started tingling like it was electricity, and it started traveling up my leg. Both feet, and both shins, and both knees, both thighs, all the way up to my head. When it got to my head, I started to feel uneasy, like I was going to fall over or pass out. And I thought, is this a medical event? What the heck's going on here? And then I said to myself, okay, maybe this thing does exist. And it went away just like that. And let me tell you, that was weird. I couldn't explain it. And it's never happened since, But then in a room upstairs in that house, I crossed the threshold into the room. Ben Hansen was on the floor doing a reading with a meter. And there was the camera guys were in there and other people. I walk in because I want to just talk to Ben. And that was the thing about the show. We weren't told, okay, Mark, now you walk into the room and talk to Ben. It's not how it was. It would be like I'd say, all right, I got to go talk to Ben.
Oh, hi,
I'd start
Mark.
going up the stairs, and the camera guys would follow me, and they would go into the room and be ready for me to walk into the room. I'd walk into the room, and I'm just carrying out research. I don't care about the cameras. That's the whole point of the show. We aren't playing to the cameras.
Wow. Okay, so let me take it. So you were just stuck in a spot, not being able to move.
That was in the living room, yeah. But when I went upstairs, as soon as I crossed into the room Ben was in, one of the camera guys reached out and put his hand around my throat and started squeezing it. I'm like, what the hell? And I grabbed my throat instinctively, and there was nothing there. I was like, what? And Ben goes, you okay? I said, and I couldn't breathe, and I was trying to talk, and it was coming out like, I can't breathe. And I stepped back out of the room, and it went away instantly.
Well, to be honest, I've wanted to choke you a couple times myself.
I know. But you just settle for chickens. But the thing is, yes, exactly. So the bottom line is I don't know how to explain that, and I have no idea what caused that, So anyway.
Oh, update real quick. Paul just said he's just waiting for some thin haze to pass, and then he'll go back to the big scope.
Okay, there you go.
Just passing on the word. That's what I do here.
I see Plato there on the left. I see Copernicus down there, center.
Not
Below center.
Capernicus.
Yep. There's Tycho right there on the right side with all them rays.
It does kind of look like a peeled orange, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. That you left on the counter for an extra couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it out there long enough, it'll start growing whisker biscuits.
Yeah. Newbie, the moon is only pink because Keith has the color settings.
I do not. It's
Well,
not
you can
me.
change
That
it.
is Paul. I can. You want me to change it to black and white? The boring.
Here you go.
Here you go. There you go.
This is just okay. Newbie fixer saying, "Come
Actually,
on."
it
Why
looks
is the
kind of
moon
blue
pink?
when I dump all the color out of it. It kind of looks like a blue color.
It does, but it's actually
weird.
just I think it's a leftover effect from seeing the red. You're getting that complementary color when it goes gray.
Right, but if Paul yells at me because I dumped the color out of it,
now it looks gray.
Yeah,
it's because your eyes, that retention of that pink color, adds with the other color that you with the gray, and it ended up making it kind of look like a bluish temporarily.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Keith.
I don't think time is the fourth dimension.
Oh, hi, Keith.
You don't realize I've been playing that behind your back this whole time, right?
Oh, hi, Mark.
No, I don't.
Because I have it as a source, so it plays, but it only goes out over the stream and not over our microphones here on Skype. So we can't hear it, but the people in the stream can.
Yeah, you're vicious.
Hopefully it plays. Does anybody hear the "Oh hi" Mark in the background? Watch, nobody's probably hearing it anyway, so I probably did something wrong, but I think it is. It should.
Well, you're on low latency, so you should get an answer in a moment here.
Yeah. Yep. By the way, people, sometimes YouTube lags, so make sure to hover over the video and look down in the left-hand corner in the bottom, and you'll see a little thing that says live. If there's not a red dot next to it, that means you are not live with us. You actually fell behind. Click the word live, and it'll bring you current with us right now, just in case.
Jared Bailey versus the World says, I hear it. So I guess that's true.
Okay.
Well, then see, David Schmidt says he only hears the dialogue.
You don't hear the, oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Keith.
The other one I have is really loud, though. There's no way they can miss this one.
Well, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did you just play it?
Okay, so Dee Dee. Hey, Dee Dee, I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're well. Good to see you again. No, you're not losing your mind. Well, you might be losing your mind, but it's not because of us.
So what's the one that you said that that I can't hear that everybody's hearing?
Oh, the one that goes, bruh.
Oh,
I haven't been to the emotional damage yet.
Emotional damage.
I love that one.
It's funny. Emotional damage.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. The first time I saw that, it was like a 2021 year in review thing, and they're like, what did you get from your job in the year 2021? And someone just like, emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, I was dying.
That's
So great.
funny.
By the way, if anybody wants a really close-up look at the moon, it's not live or anything, but they do update the imagery all the time. Go to the quick map, the LRO quick map. Just type that into Google, you'll get it right there, and you can go. And if you have most computers have a fast enough processor these days, so where you can, go in there and just scope it out. But some computers, if you're on a laptop, or maybe a iPad or something like that, you might want to close all the other programs down and then go in there. But you can play on there for hours looking up stuff up close. Because what's it get under, like 3 meters or something like that?
Well, it goes down to
visual,
a half meter per pixel.
Yeah,
or 5 meters per pixel, I think it is. So, is it 5 meters or half meter? I think it's half meter.
I think it's half meter, yeah, because you can see like smaller rocks and stuff.
Yeah, but when you go into like the 3D view where you can spin the globe, it's a lower resolution a little bit.
Yeah.
But the actual, and you can see the Apollo lunar modules on the surface. You can see the tracks. You can even see, you ready for this? You can even see when the lunar modules were released from the command module, once the astronauts came back from the moon and reattached to the command module to go home, well, that lunar module was released and it stayed in the lunar orbit for a period of time, but it decayed and finally crashed into the moon. You can find the crash sites and actually see the scours and the breach paths left by this lunar module moving at an extremely shallow angle as it strikes the moon, and then splatters parts for miles.
It's crazy how damaged our moon is.
Yeah.
It's so damaged it might even have
emotional damage.
I knew you were setting something up.
I had to.
That's funny.
Okay, where are we at? Hello, it's got. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. Hello, it's
What?
Ministerio and Recon,
It's
and of course DD, and let me just scroll up here a little bit.
It's
'cause these are new people.
Kachatsky. It's Kachate. I mean, what's,
Nude
what's
Fixer
going on?
and Julie Braddock and Jared Bailey versus the World. Divine Appointment.
Ministerio
Ali
Bogomar
Akhtar.
Ventro.
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going on. But anyway, hello, welcome. Little humble stream here, where we are looking at the moon. Oh, I forgot to switch the scope.
Emotional damage.
You do that one. There we go. Okay, now we're switched. You will always see the scope that we are using on the bottom left of screen. That will tell you, even though it's wrong right now, but it's about to switch. Once again, if you see anything cross this screen, whether it be a shadow, a satellite, a UFO, aliens, whatever, during the live stream, timestamp it with the clock on the screen in the top left, because you can't set a timestamp with the actual YouTube time because it's constantly changing because it's live.
And
So,
watch out for dancing cartoon characters.
and when you do it, you want to make sure to put the hour, the minute, and the second. And you'll see this on screen real quick. Let me put this on here so everybody knows. Imagine 6 equal boxes. You want to say what zone it was in, and then the timestamp from the clock in the top left corner, and then that way other people can check it out and they can validate it. And then we'll go back, and then if we need to, we'll put a timestamp on screen so you can go back, like people just joining can go back and check it out, or we can, if it's something really good, I'll make a own separate video tomorrow of it so it's isolated and people can check it out. Okay, everybody good? And this stuff up here in the top right corner is the moon distance, the altitude, which we're still climbing, so we're still good yet. You know, we're only
Paul
at 50.
says, Paul says,
66.
please be quiet so I can watch the moon in peace.
Who said that?
Paul.
Lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah. Well, that's not Paul Gurnis, right? That's not who we're talking about there. That's just,
No.
yeah.
You know what's crazy though? Like
He can just turn it down.
What was it, like 1962? They came up with this crazy thing called a mute button, and I don't think anybody knows about it. Just playing with. Kill him. Yeah. So yeah, we have all that. So that's what all the information is on screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, just in case anything comes, just timestamp.
And Paul says, it's funny. Didi says, well, you can mute it, you know. And he's like, no, what if the moon makes noise?
It is making noise. It's us. We're on the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's a nice little
crater dive.
weird peak in there.
Yeah, it looks like an alien face.
It kind of looks like one of those
Pareidolia
things
takes
from
over.
Halo.
So, yeah, the moon is, you're not going to have a noise from the moon, of course, because sound does not travel through a vacuum between here and there.
Just vibrations.
They don't travel. You don't get vibrations from the moon. Sound
Are you kidding me?
No.
Emotional damage.
Setup number 2.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You know, now the thing that's cool about it is that the sound in the moon, you can actually put your ear to the moon's surface, and if a meteor strikes somewhere on the moon, you'll hear the rumble because it'll go through the dirt and through the soil, the regolith it's called, and get transmitted to your helmet, and you'd hear it.
Yeah, but you also would sustain some major damage on your helmet.
Only if it was, nearby, of course.
No, but from the moon dust.
Oh, well, yeah, the moon dust is really got a component of glass in it, which is really weird. The astronauts, when they walked on the moon, and you know this, but some of your people may not.
Physical damage.
Yes, that's right. When they walked on the moon, I think it was Harrison Schmitt during one of the spacewalks, actually, when he walked out on the moon, lunar excursions. he actually was shuffling along through the dust and didn't realize that in the short amount of time he walked on the moon, for maybe just a couple of hours overall, he actually had this soil cutting through the boots, the fabric boot of his spacesuit, to the point where he couldn't go out for the last walk because there was a danger that the suit might rupture.
Yep.
You know, it was almost.
Whoa.
That sounds like some kind of anime game.
No, you know what it is?
It's really loud. I can't tell.
Yeah, it's the when I tried to look at the stream on my phone to get the link to share it, an ad came up.
Oh.
Emotional.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
Wow.
YouTube ads are so annoying.
So yeah, so that's the thing, you know, that soil, you know, and it's like glass, and the reason is because, you know, when a crater like this happens, you know, it's an impactor, it strikes, boom, and the stuff gets flung into the air, it's molten, and then it cools over time. Not right away, like it's on an air or water where it falls into the water and cools instantly. It doesn't do that.
Right.
But it makes a glassy soil, more of like a very sharp particles. And that's dangerous. And if you breathe it, it would be a death sentence. You know, it's like breathing ground glass. You know,
Pat Kerman, I can almost guarantee you, yes.
Oh yeah, we'll go to the moon.
Yeah, and I think it will be filmed.
I actually have a theory about that. I have a feeling that universities in the relatively near future will actually fund their own moon missions to go and, you know, do surveys and things like that. I think the moon is going to be a first stop for university planetary science people. They're going to be able to fund their own moon missions. You know, the university will pay for a rocket launch and get the satellites created by university kids doing their thing, and they'll be able to orbit the moon with their own satellites. There's no reason why they can't.
Right? That'd be awesome.
You know? Yeah, I think there's no reason they won't be able to do it. Because getting a satellite to the moon is not nearly as hard as getting a human to the moon.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think would rival, like, an invention like of us going to the moon? I actually posted this on Facebook a couple days ago. What do you think, like, a major thing that humans could accomplish would rival the moon landing?
A Mars landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or getting confirmation of life under the ocean or in the ocean of Europa.
Right.
You know, and now we have to consider life at Saturn's moon, Mimas.
Yeah.
The Death Star moon, as they call it, right? I mean, if you saw the latest article, I think it was Science Daily, said that they discovered, because of the sloshing that Mimas seems to do in its orbit, that it might have a very large ocean underneath. Now, what do you mean by sloshing? Well, if you fill a child's play ball with water 3/4 of the way and then roll it along the ground, it doesn't just roll. It rolls and it stutters, and it rolls more and stutters. It rolls and stutters as the water sloshes around inside. And that's what Mimas is doing in its orbit. It's sort of shuddering like that. And that gives clues that there's water underneath that's causing this sloshing, to cause it to kind of backpedal in its orbit a little bit from time to time, or jitter in its orbit. Very cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Mars would be an amazing human accomplishment. But I think when it comes to scientific stuff, I think pretty much if we go down the path of viable nuclear fusion, it would probably change everything.
Well, I think you're aware of the latest. They had a 5-second sustained reaction in fusion.
Yes.
Just the
Which
other
is what
day.
made me think about it.
Yeah, and I saw the reaction. There's a video showing the reaction occurring. Now, keep in mind that fusion occurs at 13 million Kelvin. All right.
Yeah. So Miami in the summer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. As if. You know. So that's actually a really, really hot temperature.
Right.
And so those temperatures are things that, you know, cannot be sustained in like a steel container, right? Because it'll melt it.
Yep.
It'll melt it. So I think that you have to understand that it's really something that.
But think about the possibilities if that happens. That's space travel.
Well, yeah, no, of course. It's space travel, but fusion isn't nearly good enough.
No, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, look at the alternatives right now.
Yes.
It gets us in our solar system, our times down, way down.
It depending how fast we can go with this technology, right? We have to know how fast it can carry us. I think the Alcubierre drive would be the best way to go.
True.
Yes.
But what do you think we're closer to doing?
Well, clearly we're going to be closer to fusion.
Exactly. Stepping stones, Mike. Stepping stone.
I know that. Yeah.
I just want to catch that convertible that's floating around in space.
And keep it for yourself. You know what? I can tell you this because you steal things. Wherever you find it, you steal.
I'll steal that damn convertible.
Well, you know what? And now it's open season.
Yeah, it's a Tesla.
But you know something? The problem with it is it was stripped of anything cool anyway.
Right.
And the gamma rays and cosmic rays that have struck it since its launch have probably rendered the paint all but destroyed.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a little mobile Chernobyl by this point, but you know, still be cool to like
mobile
find
Chernobyl.
Mobile Chernobyl. That's a song. I just trademarked it. Don't try to steal it. Come on down to Mobile Chernobyl.
You gonna be saying this when our book starts to sell, huh?
You know what's crazy? What? That's right. We still gotta write that book. Why didn't we do that in the last 3 weeks that we were supposed to?
Well, I've been writing down ideas. I've actually got a bunch of them already.
Yeah, I have to be honest and just tell you I haven't done shit.
That's okay.
I've been so busy here. Check out this. I had to get this house ready. 100 and almost 75 years of family history. Get this house emptied and ready to go on the market in 2 weeks. And then on top of that, move. That's what I'm doing the next 2 days. I got to move from here.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah. So I was like, this is one night that I had. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to knock it off for that because I was packing stuff, and throwing stuff away all day. I got a big giant dumpster outside this place. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit down and we're going to stream tonight and I'm just going to relax.
Wow.
And that's what we're doing.
Mm.
Anyway. Back to the guy in the Tesla in space. Do you think he's burnt crispy by now? Or what do you think he's made of?
Well, he's made of the regular spacesuit, and so for a period of time that spacesuit could withstand space. And I'm sure that there's I'm sure that helmet, and faceplate have been deteriorated quite significantly.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, because they were never designed to be subjected to gamma rays and cosmic rays.
Can you imagine if that thing deteriorates enough, right? And all of a sudden, like the mannequin body comes loose of the car, right? And it's just, it's sitting there floating. And one day, we get to technology, we can get up and just happen to be cruising by and there's just a body floating in space.
Or splat on the windshield.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Tell me how freaky that would
be. Yeah, that'd be funny.
Or it just becomes rogue and there's like alien life on like a moon of Saturn or something and just a human corpse looking thing comes flying into the atmosphere and kills it. I don't think Elon Musk thought of that.
Or you find out that Elon Musk killed his competition and he's inside that suit.
That would be true. Here it was Jeff Bezos all along.
And Jeff Bezos is inside that suit.
Yeah. And the fake Jeff Bezos is actually living here on Earth, divorced his wife.
The clone.
Yeah. Conspiracy.
Right. Conspiracy. Exactly.
I don't put him past him. Elon Musk is a weird dude, man.
He is a genius.
He is a genius, but he's weird.
I've watched him in a bunch of interviews. Doug knew him, and I think that he understood where technology needs to go in order for the human race to advance.
Yeah.
And you got to be just a little bit eccentric to be able to follow through on that.
True.
So,
and you got to have a lot of failures along with your successes.
Yeah, and I think what people like about him is that he laughs at his failures.
Yeah. Like that whole tunnel thing, that maglev train thingy.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at the numbers. That thing's not adding up.
Well, I actually haven't looked at that per se. I just remember, like, for instance, when the Falcon Heavy launched and it had the two Falcon 9s on the side and then the Heavy booster in the middle launched. and the Falcon 9s landed, together on the pad. It was like just stunning to see these two come down together and land
yeah.
identically at the same time.
Fabulous.
But then the heavy booster goes to land on the the drone ship. It goes splunk. It's like right in the
Yep.
water.
Yeah.
Sploosh. Yeah. And what did he do? He didn't say, "Oh yeah, we lost our boosters." We got 2 boosters back. That was
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
it's
cool.
just crazy because he has the boring company, and it's like, oh, I'm bored today. What am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna sell flamethrowers, and then sells out of them. It's like, who does that? He did,
Yeah.
and he did it successfully.
Yeah.
It's like your flamethrower helped contribute to launching reusable rockets.
Yeah, I have one of the flamethrowers here. It's really nice.
I'm sure you do. Gee.
I use it to light the wood stove.
Wow.
Well, it also melts the wood stove too at the same time, so you
Yeah.
gotta be really careful. You can only do a 0.2 millisecond burst, because it really is pretty high temperature. We're talking 10,000 Kelvin initial burst, and it only lasts about 3 milliseconds. But that's more than enough to start melting steel. But anyway,
Yeah. I don't know.
of course that's all baloney. I'm not telling you the truth of that.
Yeah, I mean, you just some of the stuff that Elon comes up with, you can look at it and the numbers just don't add up. The science doesn't add up to some of it.
Oh, I know.
But his successes, so far has outshined his failures, and he kind of just blows off his failures. So it makes him, a unique individual.
You can tell the quality of the product by listening to the employees.
Yeah.
Every launch, the employees are cheering, hooting, and hollering.
Yeah, but that's a mission control employee. Talk to the people actually building the rocket, the welder. I'm pretty sure they got a whole different story, and they do.
Well, except for that last part, I think they do have a different story, but I don't see them as being, I mean, anywhere you work, where you're expected to deliver something on time, you're gonna have a crunch mode.
Right.
I had a crunch mode to get the observatory ready out in the desert. I ended up in the hospital because of it. Because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I've learned, but but it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have bad about that, but expecting his employees to work, 18-hour days.
Yeah.
On holidays, just to meet his deadline that he set. I mean, that's kind of narcissistic, but he's one of those people that expects everybody to work like he supposedly does. But then again, he considers work just sitting in a chair and thinking of stuff to do, like, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, I can tell you this, having worked with a genius like him.
Thank you. Oh, like him?
Yeah, no, yeah, like him. I can tell you that Doug was one of these people that listened to every idea you had. And I remember working on one particular show. There's a movie out there called Into the Unknown, and this team came up to Doug and said, "Hey, we'd like to, come up here, have your advice, and work with you on making this movie." And it's about one man heading out into space, going to Mars by himself, or Pluto. I can't remember where he was going. And so we had to build rockets. I did a ton of laser cutting to get the project done. I worked with a bunch of people, visually effect-wise. But I was also Doug called me his chief scientist. And so when the whole team was there, they unveiled the ship designs to Doug. And Doug's looking at them, and he looks at me and says, "What do you think, Mark?" And I looked at the ship designs, and they were all wrong. They would not function the way they wanted them to. And I know Doug, and I know that he was into making sure that it would work in reality. He wanted to make it something believable. And so I said the truth. I said, well, that ship can't possibly do what you're asking it to do. It needs to have a counterweight in order to rotate the way you expect it to. I mean, it's a central cylinder. Then it had a long, fragile structure with another thing on the end of it. And they wanted that central cylinder to stay put while this long thing kept spinning around it. It's like, unless it's counterweighted, it's not going to do that. You have to add a counterweight segment to the opposing side. You can make it short with a big counterweight. And their art director looked right at me and said, "I think we know how to design spacecraft, thank you." Mm-hmm. And Doug looked at the guy and said, if Mark says it's not going to work, I think you ought to listen because he'll know. And now Doug, the Academy Award winner, is telling him this. And the guy looks at me and literally you could watch him shift uncomfortably in the chair and he goes, oh, so what might we be able to do to fix this?
Oh, I thought you were going to say he punched you in the face or something.
No, these guys were literally, they revered Doug. So when he said something like that, and I couldn't believe he did, he basically said, if he says it's not going to work, it's not going to work. You ought to listen to him.
Yeah.
And Doug was just matter of fact. And I said, well, here's why, guys. I mean, you just need a counterweight, okay? It's like nature, okay? Otherwise, and I showed them how it would actually rotate. And everybody understood by the time I was done. And they added a counterweight system. And now the ship on screen looks like what would work, And Doug can't buy into stuff that doesn't. He didn't buy into stuff that didn't. It's so hard to talk about him like he's still here. He wouldn't talk about something that couldn't really exist. He was offered or approached about doing the Star Wars franchise, and he didn't like the universe that Lucas had thought about and created. So he begged off it. He didn't want to do it, and he was never sorry about it. He preferred the Star Trek franchise. He preferred realistic stuff like Silent Running, what he did with Bruce Dern. He did Andromeda Strain, which was interestingly about a pandemic.
Blade Runner.
He did Blade Runner, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I mean, most people that love science, many of them have Close Encounters of the Third Kind as this movie that was quintessential for them. For
Mashed Potato Devil Tower.
Mashed Potato Devil's Tower.
By the way, guys, we're on.
Yes, you were at Devil's Tower.
We're on the wide field now because clouds are moving in. So I'm not sure how much longer we'll be live because they're starting to get thick.
No way, man.
A lot of dewy dew energy up there. So
yeah. Well, this is Miami.
So it might not be a very long night for us, but hey, at least we got to hang out.
It's Miami.
Miami. Moons over Miami. Oh my. Well, it was good there for a while.
Yeah,
we got a little bit in of the
yeah.
scoping in. When are you doing another stream? When's your next one?
Well, I'm connected to the observatory now, but I'm not gonna stream tonight because it's 10:55. It's almost 11 o'clock here.
Wow.
I mean, when we stream during the full moon, we don't actually get to look at the deep sky nebula in the same quality, but we actually do catch them because our telescope has these beautiful filters on it,
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like it works out okay. So I don't know when I'm going to stream again. Probably if it's clear tomorrow, I would do it anyway. I don't mind.
Do you stream during SkyTour live stream? The radio, SkyTour radio?
I'm never not at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would. I know. Why don't you stream our telescope during SkyTour radio, and we'll bring you in every 15 minutes and have a report. What are you looking at now, Keith?
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be called dead on that. Anyway.
Why you little son of
a... yeah, let's now get some space weather with Keith. Keith, how's the sky looking? I'd be like,
it's raining.
Sorry,
okay.
I guess.
Okay, Ozzy, thank you.
Yeah, it looks good. It's clear. But yeah, it's just like, I'm not the best space weather man, if you know what I mean.
I was looking out there, Ozzy. It's starry. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, streaming this, like, because sometimes you do video, or do you always do video now on KGRA?
I always do
with
video.
Your radio.
Our radio show is always a video, like TV. So
okay,
yeah, it's always
that's
like
cool.
that. Yep.
Gotcha.
And I can tell you that, I can tell you a story too. And I don't know if you heard this before. Maybe you did. When I was out there all alone, there it comes. That's right. I was out there all alone in the desert working on the observatory, getting it ready. And the owners of the land were not there on the land. They were thousands of miles away somewhere else. So I was all alone out there in the desert. And you really got to be careful when you're all alone because there's rattlesnakes and stuff. Well, I'm walking out of the observatory. It's probably around 1 a.m. tired, and going to bed in the big camper that we put on there, big trailer that we put out
Probably
there.
dehydrated.
Not dehydrated, but on my way. And then as I'm walking back to the camper, I look to the right and I see this gigantic rat the size of a cat running parallel to me, just a few feet from me. And he ran under this big propane tank. And I'm like, wow.
Here, kitty kid.
That's a big rat.
Mittens.
That's a big rat.
Right.
And I turned and looked to the front. And what I saw in the front was, holy crap, a tarantula the size of my hand right on the ground.
Oh, I thought you said it was going to be one of those porky pigs.
No, not one of the javelinas or anything. But it was a tarantula the size of my hand, and I looked at it and I was startled, and it ran into a hole the size of my thumb. Oh. It squeezed that big body into this little tiny thing. It was like it was in that hole. It's like, wow, that's incredible. So now I know that those little holes are tarantula burrows. Stick your finger down there and twiddle around. See what you can find.
I could just see you like in the middle of the desert, like by yourself, just dressed like Indianapolis Jones, and just running after a
Indianapolis
tarantula.
Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Same difference.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. It's all water under the fridge, bud.
David Schmidt says I should have taken a picture of that tarantula and sent it to Bill. Help him sleep. Bill hates spiders.
Yeah, if you want to see Bill fly through a wall.
He goes, oh my God! What is it?
He did that with a little baby spider.
I know, he can't stand little baby spider. He jumps. Ah! Can you imagine if he was the Incredible Shrinking Man and he had to kill that spider? Remember when the guy did it with a large needle?
Oh,
and the spider's trying to attack him, and he sticks the needle up and stabs a spider that's over his head, and then the blood is coming down and going all over his face and everything.
I just have this visual like Bill fighting a spider with a toothpick. Like miniature. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, get away from me. Oh my God, what do you do? Get away from me. Ah!
Yeah, I can see
a noise?
that. Screaming the whole time how he's going to die.
Oh no, I'm going to die.
Do you hear a sound? I don't hear a sound. Oh, yeah.
Help me.
Like what was the kid's name from Willy Wonka that got shrunk into the TV? It was I forget what the kid's name was in the movie, but
okay, I don't remember the TVC. I remember the girl that got made into a blueberry.
Yeah, that was Violet Beauregard.
Yeah.
And then you had Veruca Salt.
If that's right, yeah.
And then you had it was Mikey something. Was it Mikey?
Uh-oh, I don't remember that.
Mikey TV, Mikey.
Okay.
Mike TV.
Mammy,
yeah, it was Mike TV. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Mammy Raymer is from Alaska.
Alaska. Wow.
Yeah, where the weather is always cold. Depends where you are, though.
I heard it's really nice in the summertime now.
In Anchorage, it's not bad. But if you were to say he's from Point Barrow, my hat would be off to him or her, because it's really cold in Point Barrow.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not called Point Barrow anymore. It's got a new name. It's got an Inuit name now, I believe. So I knew that name at one point. I forgot it. My mother was Native American, in part. So I respect those changes and things. And I missed the name. I didn't memorize it. Sorry.
Like Alaska would be perfect for me for like 1 month out of the year. Like August.
Right. No, probably September.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably warmer in September than it is in August, I bet you. But you never know. I mean, it's
probably in the 70s, 70s, 80s maybe.
I don't know about 80s. It probably gets 60s, 70s, depending on where you go. I mean, in Barrow, it never gets that high. It never gets to 80.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, I can't remember the name. Darn, what was that name? Oh, man. See, now it's going to make me mad. I know that they changed the name from something else. It was Utqiagvik. Yeah, okay. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Utqiagvik. But someone can correct me if they know how to speak Inuit, because I don't know how to speak Inuit, but I respect it. Okay.
We don't know how to speak English half the time.
Oh, that ain't true.
What you talking about? Hello, Shagman.
Hey, Shagman, this is just the moon, man.
The moon, man.
Yeah. I'm from Skytour Livestream. We have our Deep Sky Observatory here on YouTube. And Keith, of course, has P&K Space Imaging,
And
which
here
is
we
wonderful.
are.
And here we are. That's right.
See, it gets to 80 in Barrow.
In Kelvin. Okay.
I intentionally left that part out, trying to make myself be right for once.
Pasquerdo, that's funny. In Kelvin. See, that's someone who understands the temperature scales. Well done, man. Well done.
Don't encourage him.
Hey, come on. You know? Yeah.
Shagman, we don't ever use any filters or lenses here. Paul just doesn't like to use them. Just direct camera to mirror.
But he's saying an O3 filter. That's a doubly ionized oxygen filter. That wouldn't actually show us anything here.
Right.
Hey, watch with the dude, okay?
I'm just saying.
I'll slap your ass.
It was a general statement. There, Whisker Biscuit. I don't care. Biscuit is still a funny word.
It is. Biscuits is just, how do you spell it? B-I-Z-K-I-T?
It looks like biscuit.
Yeah, right. Biscuit.
Biscuit.
I think it's spelled biscuit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Whisker Biscuit Hour here on P&K Space Imaging.
What is a Whisker Biscuit? I hear this all the time. I don't know what that is.
Oh, you know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I don't want to know.
It's dirty.
Just get out of here.
What was it that you said earlier? A Persian bean
a
party?
There's a bomb in there.
What was it? A Persian bean party or Turkish bean party?
Turkish bean salad.
Yeah. That's so dirty.
Well, that was my dinner.
Yeah. It's almost as bad as a Dutch coffee table.
That's a real thing, too.
Right? You dirty bastard. Yeah. Turkish bean salad.
You get a new one now. Hey, and he takes food I eat and turns it into something filthy. Okay, good.
Yeah. It does though. Think about it. Like, can you imagine somebody coming to go, "Hey, baby, what are you into? Turkish bean salad?"
Yeah. Yes. You want him to toss your Turkish bean salad. I get it.
Oh, you dirty thing. Now we're over 18.
Why?
You had to say toss in there, didn't you?
Isn't that what you do with this salad?
Yep, now we're 19.
You're gonna be 35.
Doesn't that do? I don't know. Is that what you do with a salad? Why don't you go ahead and tell us there, Mark? How do you like your salad tossed? Turkish bean salad.
You put all the ingredients in.
What is it with you and salad?
You take the 2 forks and you miss. I had a Southwest chicken salad for dinner yesterday.
Oh, I bet you that's even better than a Turkish bean salad.
Oh, I don't know about that.
A Southwest. Oh, where has the stream gone?
Absolutely sick, man. I don't know.
Do you like bacon bits on your Turkish bean salad?
Yeah, not the artificial ones though.
Oh no!
You got to make your own.
You got to make your own. It can't be artificial.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
I hate the bottled bacon bits.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah,
what have they ever done to you?
Nothing. They're artificial. They're fake.
So.
Yeah. If you say you buy bacon bits and it says on the jar, not made with real bacon. That's like drinking water, not made with real H2O.
Yeah, not made with real hydrogen.
Yeah, no hydrogen in this. No hydrogen for those who have hyperallergenic problems.
Right.
You're not a good idea, you know.
Like come get our good water. It's actually H2O2. And it's like, why does my mouth feel bubbly?
Oh my gosh.
It's a new sports drink. H2O2 from Gatorade.
Yeah. H2O2.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know what? You give hydrogen peroxide to your dog, a teaspoon will make them throw up. It's like if they eat something that's bad, a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide, within literally 45 seconds, they're retching up their entire stomach contents. I've had to do that when dogs ate some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
I used to have greyhounds, and
you can do the same thing with humans. You just need Visine.
Oh, I didn't know about Visine.
Yeah, put a couple of drops of Visine in some water.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, you'll be blowing it out both ends there for a while.
Oh, you're making it up now.
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. Go to
I
Google
thought-
and look up Visine, drinking Visine.
Well, that's probably a poison.
Hey, if it unclogs the log flume, do what you gotta do.
Ugh. Hades says, so there's a possibility we've been hit with just as many asteroids.
Yes.
The answer is it's possible, but we're a bigger planet, so we probably actually had more impacts. The thing is, we have erosion, we have weathering, and we
Atmosphere.
erosion and weathering. Yeah, we have crustal turnover. Okay, so and we have tectonic plates. So some of what's happened on the surface of the Earth has gone back down into the Earth, and will come up as new material at the other side eventually. So that's so we probably had just as many impacts. Every impact you see here probably occurred back in the early bombardment era or late bombardment era, and we're talking several billion years ago, 3.8 billion years ago, something like that. And that was an era when the solar system was just settling out. The planets had formed. The main planetary spacing had been settled, but there was a lot of debris. And so all the planets in the solar system were absorbing direct hits. That's why we see craters on every world, okay? Except where there's resurfacing, like on Pluto. Pluto actually resurfaces, and Ganymede, Callisto, those moons of Jupiter resurface. Europa resurfaces. Mars, to some extent, resurfaced because of its atmosphere. And then Earth, of course, resurfaces. Venus has a big, thick atmosphere now. What are you saying here? What is that?
None of your damn business, and I think you just stayed on my personal affairs. Oh, you mean on screen? I'm just pointing that out because it looks cool.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a big tube.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, so as everything settled out, the moon has a record of every single impact, other than the ones that cause large-scale flooding of basalt lava or other types of lavas. You can see here that the areas that are flat are areas that have been flooded with lavas from impacts.
I think Pasha Mass is on some good acid. Jeez.
The moon is a reflection of Earth, and hang on. And the Earth we exist right now, actually within a crater. Okay, he went down the other. At first, it's not. I mean, if you could say the moon is a reflection of the Earth, that's actually true in terms of the bombardment that happened. Okay, the moon reflects about how many asteroid impacts, meteor impacts we also accrued. But to say that we're inside a crater on the moon, yeah, that's where the acid comes in. I grant you.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Mark Carson says we all suck. Well, thank you, sir.
Well, black holes do for sure.
Yeah. The only difference is we don't do it for money like you do. Ha ding, ba-ding,
Mike Carson's message was actually held, but I'd actually challenge him to tell him why he says what he says.
Why bother?
Because it's interesting.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
And David Schmidt says pi r squared.
What?
Pi r squared. That's what David Smith's saying.
Yeah.
You know what pi r squared is?
3.14 squared.
No.
Radius times velocity.
No. Pi 3.14 times the radius squared.
Mark, don't make me do math. It's been a long night.
I'm not asking you to
Hold on, let me get a pencil.
You don't have to do a pencil.
Hey, just let me get a pencil.
No, but what is pi r squared?
Pizza.
There's no.
Oh.
Area.
Sicilian pizza.
It's an area equation.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question first. Why do I care?
Well, I think maybe because if you're looking at, if you're looking at craters and you want to calculate the area that a crater has in it.
Not really.
You can actually do it with the quick map, because you can actually draw a circle. Circumference is 2 pi r, Michael Klages.
I think it's 2 pi r, microclete. That's my answer. Final answer.
Yeah, circumference is 2 pi r.
See, I asked the question.
I just said that. Pies are not square; they're round. That's funny. Thank you, Miwa and
I've
Ming.
seen some square pies.
Yeah, actually, so have I. My mother used to make in a square pan. She would make pie sometimes because she didn't have a round pan clean.
I mean, it's a mistake, but we've seen them.
Yeah, yeah. The opinions are like, oh yeah, Jason, we know the rest of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got one. You know.
Right.
No, the moon has probably never been tested for life, and probably not a good idea because you would have to get some type of experimental apparatus up there to test for it.
Oh, no. Pasquale, you don't give the dog Visine, you give them peroxide. Sorry, I should have rephrased that. No, you give Visine to people to make them. You give peroxide to a pet, and it makes them vomit if you need them to.
Hydrogen peroxide in a teaspoon. A teaspoon is all you need, and it'll make a dog throw up. I had greyhounds, as I mentioned, and one time there was a whole chicken carcass that had gone rancid because we went away for a weekend and we came back, took the dogs out of the kennel, came into the house, and was like, oh, we left something in the refrigerator, it went bad, so we threw it away. It was a whole chicken that we had never eaten. And so it was in the garbage. Then we had to go to work. So I went to work, I come home, and the garbage is over on its side. The chicken is gone. And I'm like, oh no. And sure enough, Tycho, the male greyhound, his belly looked really distended. And I was like, uh-oh, he ate that chicken. So I gave him a teaspoonful of peroxide. And then after, no lie, like 45 seconds, that dog looked at me like, I'm going to kill you. Okay. And all of a sudden it's like, whoop, whoop. And then all of a sudden it was like a snake. All of a sudden the jaw opened up way bigger than I thought it could. And the whole chicken comes out. He swallowed the whole chicken whole.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of a big dog, and so, yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, all right,
Yeah, but
that's
still a whole chicken, my lord.
whole chicken, yep. And it was intact. And he just ate the whole thing. I can't understand why he just wouldn't chew it. Yeah, but he just maybe thought he was going to get caught. I don't know.
Chicken pill. Let me just
Yeah,
swallow
yeah.
this.
Oh, this is good. I like chicken pus. This is really good.
Is that stuffing?
Well, it may not be stuffing, but it sure smells nasty, just the way I like it.
Well, I mean, he probably would have digested it if he swallowed it whole.
Well, he would have digested it, but he swallowed the bones and everything and then rip up his intestines.
Not to mention coming out, my lord.
Ooh, yeah. Well, that would be just a bad scene all around.
Straight up Putin sticks.
That's right.
Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty bad.
It's like, what is that, a tree?
Yeah.
Chicken.
I think it's a thigh bone, Marge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it couldn't have been that big of a chicken.
It was
like a little hen or something.
It wasn't a little thing. It was a chicken, if I recall. It was probably about. It's like the rotisserie chickens you buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about that size.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. Big enough for a dog to just swallow it whole, and he did.
Yeah.
He did. Tycho was a really good dog. He was a very good dog. That was like one of the only bad things he ever did. I had a second dog for him as a companion and named her Kepler.
Original.
Tycho and Kepler. It was original. There was no other Tycho and Kepler in the entire Northeast.
Dude, look at these ridges and everything showing up. I
know.
With this altitude. Looks awesome.
Yeah. He's on the eastern limb of the moon right now. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
All right, let's pay attention to Mike Carson real quick so he doesn't get his panties in a bunch. What do we got? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, let's go back and see.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, I'll check it out. Let's go see here, Mike. What do you got?
Or you might have just been pointing out somebody else said a question.
Well, maybe, yeah. You should want to see.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, that's how I am with the stream, right? I mean, people know.
Yeah, Mark, quit being an ass.
I'm always willing to talk to people and find out and if they got something that's bugging them, I want to find out why, because maybe there's something I can do to improve if it's me. Usually, people do get a little upset about certain things for whatever reason.
It's hard to point out scale, noob, because even at our closest zooms, it's still like we're like 15 to 18,000 miles away. So you can look up crater sizes like online and see most of these are like, most of the big ones that you see are anywhere from 30 to 150 miles across. So it's,
Yeah, like when we looked at Clavius crater, what's the diameter of Clavius?
I don't know offhand.
You're a lunar. Come on, there's Clavius. What's the diameter of Clavius?
I just told you. I don't know offhand.
Well, how about on hand?
Hold on, let me look at my hand. Oh, look
Anything
at that.
there?
It says I don't know.
Okay.
You can look it up. I mean, Google. What's the diameter of Clavius? It'll tell you.
It's 225 kilometers.
Yeah,
That's
it's huge.
about 140 miles.
Huge.
So what you're seeing on the screen here, when you saw Clavius there a moment ago, that was about 140 miles across, or 244 kilometers.
Schiller is coming in quite nicely.
Yep.
By the way,
On
Schiller
the edge
crater
there.
is at an elongated one. That impact got hit at a very, very low angle.
Right in this, just above center now.
Yes.
Now top center. Now off screen. Yep.
Yeah. So you can use Clavius as a guide. If that's 140 kilometers,
140 miles.
Oh, oh yeah. You said what?
It was 225
Yeah.
kilometers, 140 miles.
So you can use that to gauge the rest of the ones we're looking at, compare sizes, roughly.
Yeah.
Even the small little dots you see are probably 5 miles across. 3 to 5 miles.
A little more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be saying, maybe like 6
10.
miles. Yeah, maybe 6 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like we're like zoomed in really close, but we're still way far away. And if you go to the LRO site and zoom in with that, you'll see actually how far away we still are, because that's an orbit around the moon, and you can zoom in super far with that thing.
And you can tell
we're not even close. So anybody telling you they're seeing anything on the surface of the moon, they're full of it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care how big your telescope is. I don't care what megapixel your camera is. You're not doing it from Earth, because we have this little thing called the diffraction limit.
Yes, the Dawes limit. And even the Hubble Space Telescope can't see the craft on the moon.
Yeah.
And the reason has to do with what he just said, the Dawes limit. And it also has to do with the fact that the entire Apollo landing sites, generally with the Hubble Space Telescope, would appear in just 1 pixel, maybe 2, of the Hubble Space Telescope sensor. So you see, it's not something that should be used for that. It's not meant to look at our moon.
I can literally see where conspiracy theories come from, though. It's like, oh, okay, so you mean to tell me none of this stuff can see it, and we've supposedly been there, and we can't see any stuff. You can see the flag. You can see the shadow of the flag on the moon. Just go to the LRO site and look at it for yourself. You can see the whole Apollo landing sites. You can see the tracks in the dirt.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand why people think there's things like that, because they look at a picture like this and say, well, where's the evidence of mankind?
Right.
You know what? If you do the same relative view of the Earth from space, the same relative distance, keeping in mind the moon is 2,000 miles in diameter, right? If you do the same scaled distance to look at the Earth, you can't see any civilization there either.
Right.
So the Earth doesn't have any life on it either from that position or for anything. So, that makes sense. You can't see any human-generated objects on the Earth unless you really get close, like the LRO did. The LRO got down to as low as 30 miles above the moon. There's no atmosphere on the moon, all right, because without air, then it just has to be a lower orbit, and it's nothing to stop it. The only possibility would be if there was some kind of impact on the moon that tossed debris into the area around the moon, and then the LRO flew through it and hit it. That's the only way it could get damaged.
Right.
So, yeah. Pretty cool.
Let's see. So would an asteroid itself stay on the moon after impact, or would it like bounce off?
It actually vaporizes when it strikes the moon, and if it's really, really big, then maybe like the Aitken Basin impactor on the far side of the moon, it's underneath the surface, and a remnant is underneath the surface. There is something anomalous underneath the lowest spot on the moon, which is this Aitken Basin I was telling you about earlier.
Right.
Yeah, and that they've actually got some kind of anomalous body
Okay,
underneath
dude,
there.
you thought I was bad with the pooter tutor. Like that's all I'm hearing in the background.
What are you talking about?
Put it down.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah,
It's in the other room actually.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Full of
don't be incriminating me now.
I am, because I'm listening to it, and I don't know, it's just in the background here, and I can tell you're just not even thinking about it anymore. You're just holding it in your hand and doing it without realizing it.
So
Because that's what I do. I can
That's
call
what
you.
you're doing.
I can call you out on it because you're doing the exact same thing I was doing for 600 miles out to Wisconsin.
When'd you go to Wisconsin?
I took a 6-row corn planter out.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my practice. Hey,
Practice?
Mark, do you believe that there was a secret space mission?
To the moon?
Didn't say that. It just said secret space mission.
Well, Patrick Kernan, my opinion is that honestly, we have DoD launches. Yes, there's black projects that get launched into space, and nobody's told what they are. They launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base. Typically, they tend to be spy satellites. I'll tell you about a project I worked on. I was working on a project that was literally built as a spy satellite. And I would go to Arizona, go into the high bay where it was being built, take photos of it, and then take back cleared photos and start building models of it for the company. That was my job, to do that for them. A project I was working on because of my visual effects model studio. Well, we had clearances. We did all kinds of work like that. And so as we worked on this satellite model, I realized there's some real high-tech gear on this thing. And when I saw what it could see, this satellite could see human faces from space and identify human beings. And it couldn't see them by looking down on top of them. It has to look even longer distance on an angle called an oblique slant angle. And at the slant angle, looking down, you're looking through even more atmosphere. And the satellite could read license plates. It could recognize people. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is obviously a spy bird. And so I treated it that way while working on the whole thing. And when the project was done, the president of the company called me and said, hey, Mark, you want to see who you're working for? Yeah, sure. Yeah, say thanks, man. And he sent me a picture of the people that were underwrote the production of this satellite. And I expected to see admirals and generals with the president of the United States. I've done presidential briefing models before, and I thought, well, it's probably one of those level. No, it was Sergey Brin and Larry Page, the Google guys. And there's Sergey Brin holding my model. And I'm going, holy crap. And Larry Page is right there with that weird smile he's got. And
AKA creepy.
They're okay, I guess. They got their own issues.
By the way, Patrick, you are on with Mark D'Antonio. You can check him out on numerous television shows and, of course, SkyTour Radio. Sunday nights at 6 to 8 now, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is on KGRA.com.
Yeah.
You can also catch Mark on, Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, and all the ones we listed earlier. So, yeah, that's who you're talking to. And I should also mention a professional astronomer.
Well, yeah, that's a little thing, right?
Just a little.
Yeah, I mean, to those who don't know, I've always been an astronomer. I wanted to be an astronomer since I was 9 years old, and I never wavered. I ended up going to school for it, and ended up getting into astronomy. And actually, the person that really convinced me to go into astronomy is the guy that was in charge of all the outer space missions for JPL. A guy named Burt Lee, Gentry Lee is his name, and he ended up. Dave Schmidt, that's great. He ended up looking at a space station plan that I created and sent to NASA for review. He took the time to look at every single page and make notations on it. And the space station plan was done on notebook paper, and I did it when I was 9 years old. And I sent it down to NASA, and he was just a young scientist at that time. He reviewed it, and he was so taken by the plan and how detailed I made it. I had carbon dioxide scrubbers to take the carbon dioxide out of the air and replace it with oxygen. But on the other side, I also had live pigs and cows for bacon and milk. Okay, go figure. But anyway, he actually sent me back a box full of mission patches, models, books, and I was just astonished. And then he sent me back a letter and he notated all over my plan and said what a good idea it was. And Gentry Lee was responsible for his letter said, you better stick with the they called it at that time the manned space program, because you have a future there. I was like, wow. So I got into astronomy.
Who, me?
Yeah, who, me? Wow, man. Okay, let's make hydrogen balloons and blow up the neighborhood.
That is a true story, by the way. We'll get into that to another time.
It is, yes. And I actually called him something like 45 years after that event and said, you don't remember me, but you got me into astronomy. And he told me the event, and he goes, oh my gosh, he goes, that's exactly the kind of thing I would have done. He said, that's fantastic. He goes, I don't remember you, but yeah, that's cool. He says, thank you for sharing that with me, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah, because you were like one of the 65 kids that week he told you that to.
Maybe so.
Hey, it worked, didn't it?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Right?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So that's why. And my first love was the moon. I scoured craters with my telescope until my mother yelled at me to go to bed. Watching the shimmering atmosphere in front of the moon, like we're seeing here, we're seeing the little shimmers. I got used to that and noticed that there are moments when doing just what Paul's doing now, zooming into a crater. You could actually see the shimmer gets bigger, and then there's moments of perfect clear seeing. And I said, I should be able to get a picture of that. There must be a way to take a picture of that and get it right. So I actually built a camera to do it. I didn't have the money for a camera, so I built a camera out of cardboard. And I successfully took photos of the moon using this little silly cardboard camera that I built.
And that's how Polaroids work.
Yeah, right. Well, I actually used these film cartridges that were for these little throwaway cameras at the time,
yeah.
and it was cool because, it was what's called a pinhole camera, and it was neat to actually get the film back from the photography place and see that there was one or two pictures out of 24 that actually had a crater on it. And I was astonished. Wow, that's so cool. Anyway, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the ray structure. These are the rays, the splashes from the crater that's out of shot to the top here. There's a huge amount of material scoured out of the moon on impact, and because the gravity is 1/6 of ours, that scour can create a plume that's 100 or more miles high, 200 miles high, and it has energy to splash out and go like hundreds and hundreds of miles.
You think that would look like a massive dust storm? Like, say, if you were semi close to one, say within 300, 400 miles of an impact?
But it would be an approaching shockwave of dust.
Yeah.
Made of glass.
Nice.
And molten.
So
Yeah.
It's a lovely cloud of death.
It is. It's a lovely cloud of face-melting death.
It'd be one of those things you just stare at and go, oh, that's so pretty. And then it just melts your face off.
That's right. It's like in Indiana Jones, remember? That guy, it's beautiful. Yeah. Ah! His face is melting.
Or like that lady in Independence Day that's on top of the high rise.
Yes, wait,
She's
we
like, oh,
welcome.
it's so pretty. This big blue beam about to just strike her dead.
Kaboom! Yeah.
Yeah. That would be us.
Obliterate.
That would be humans. But like, oh, it's such a pretty color blue. And then dead.
Yeah. Well, that's like the pretty color blue when the Chernobyl reactor blew. There was this beautiful blue column of light moving up from the exposed reactor core.
Keep talking. I'm going to refill my drinky poo.
Okay. That beautiful column of light was actually deadly Cherenkov radiation. And that radiation was so powerful that anyone who saw it died. So it was like the last thing you saw. It was just a massively powerful dose of radiation. And if you could see the light, it meant that some of the particles were getting to you. And that's just a really, really bad thing. And there were people in the Chernobyl building that saw it looking down into the reactor core and saw this. And of course, they died. So, a little known fact is the Skytour Livestream telescope in Arizona is on the land of a guy that actually helped fix and stop the Chernobyl meltdown. There's your little trivia for the day. So anyway, this is just a beautiful view. Paul Gurnis down in Miami is giving us with the 80 millimeter. Well, it's not the 80 millimeter refractor anymore. It's the other one. And Keith got it all wrong. And he sits here and leaves me in charge. Exactly.
What are you talking about now?
I said you got to change the telescope.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you do that?
I can't see that. You don't allow me to.
That's right.
Oh hi, Keith.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Dave Schmidt
Oh,
says
hi,
the
Mark.
elephant's foot. Yeah, that's in the bottom of the building that melted right through. And actually, David, that's about the area that we're talking about here.
Oh, and hello, Ted.
Ted Bronson.
How you been, sir?
Good to see you, Ted.
Patrick, there are tons of colors on the moon. We just don't have the color on because we just don't. Sometimes I'll turn it on with the when we do the wide field.
I don't know why you don't. I don't know why you don't just turn it on and.
We don't usually do it because, especially with the big scope, because you start getting blurring around the craters because the optic sensor is trying to make sense of where that line is, especially during the bright part. So you'll have a lot of color skipping, and people mistake that for like, oh, there's something red moving across the screen. It's like, no, that's just your camera trying to figure out the pixels. And
are you saying you get chromatic aberration on the optics?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's terrible. That's not supposed to happen.
It's not, but it does, and that's why.
That's not good. That's not okay.
Oh, I can't wait to come back on your stream.
Me either. We have fun.
I'm gonna drop so many F-bombs.
No, you're not.
Like Keith's talking, you just hear beep, beep, beep.
Beep and beep. Oh, and you know what? Beep. Yeah, of course.
That's all right. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv.
Vitamail.
Ultra Vitamail.
They kicked him off.
Come get your beta kerosene.
Beta kerosene.
Guaranteed put hair on your chest.
Beta
and your
kerosene.
knuckles. Yeah.
Beta kerosene. Just spread it and light it.
My lord. I tell you what, though, he's a hell of a salesman.
Yeah. But they kicked him off.
I tried to listen to him one time, and all it was hawking products.
He was
like
canceled.
10 minutes straight, and there was like 2 minutes of like show, and then it was more hawking like vitamins and like 3-ply plastic toilet paper, and then these little things like it was like food in a bucket or something like that. Like he's like, get your survival buckets. And it had like some sugar wafers.
Plastic toilet paper, is that what you said?
Yeah, it had like sugar wafers and some saltines, and I think like you gotta have some taffy in there as well to keep your jaw moving so your jaw doesn't lock up from the iodine from the nuclear, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So make sure to eat this green seaweed pill.
Yeah, that's someone he probably plays too much Fallout.
It's 2% blowfish, 7% mudsucker. Proven to give you bone broth or something like that. It was just, I was like, what?
Wow.
It was funny though. I was like, honey, can we get a food bucket from Alex Jones?
hmm Augustin Serafini
It was
says,
like
"I wonder
$100.
what would happen if we see an explosion." Actually, sorry, Keith, I gotta say it.
No, fine.
We did a lunar eclipse stream on January 20th of 2019
That long
with our
ago.
telescope. Same night that you did, Keith, with
Yeah.
Paul. And we were just one of 5 groups on the planet on SkyTour live stream that actually saw an explosion on the moon. We actually caught a meteor strike the moon at the height of the eclipse. When the moon was red, and we saw this flash, boom, down in the lower left quadrant. And that was just an amazing thing. Once we knew what happened, we thought it was an anomaly with the camera at first because it was instantaneous. But then, so we saw one. And it was like a 18-inch meteor that struck the moon. And why would we see that from 240,000 miles away? It's because when it has all this speed, it strikes the moon really, really hard. That kinetic energy, that energy of motion, is converted to heat. And it gets very, very hot for a brief time, vaporizing the meteoroid and the area around it as it makes a crater impact. And so we would see that because of how bright the light was.
Right.
And it was confirmed by 4 other groups that caught it, including Griffith Observatory, a Spanish moon monitoring company, and several others.
Oh, noob. What do you think of the JWST alignment images? It's the beginning.
I saw the alignment images. They're, the fact that they're getting 18 of them, all good news. They had to count up to get 18 images, and they have the 18. So now it's a time to move those images so that they all coincide with each other. And then it'll be coming to a common focal point.
I'm telling you, pretty soon, because you all know the Hubble images that come out and they colorize them and everything. And
Yes.
Just wait until you start seeing what the James Webb is going to do.
Yeah, see, the James Webb only sees in the infrared, and I get that question a lot. Why only in the infrared? The answer is actually rather simple to understand, and that is that as galaxies get farther from us, their light is shifted toward the red end of the spectrum. The farther they go, the faster they are moving away from us. And I simulate that with a balloon. You blow up a balloon a little bit and put dots all over it, and as you blow it up, the dots near your mouth, near the nozzle, don't move away from your mouth as fast as the dots on the far side of the balloon. That is a good metaphor for the expanding, inflating universe. And so those dots, as they move away from each other, they're also moving faster away from you. And the data, the light that we see from those galaxies, which are really the dots in the big picture here, that light is getting redshifted into the red. So there are galaxies out there whose light is entirely in the infrared. And these are galaxies we've never seen before. Never seen them before. So the James Webb is going to be able to see them. It's a blind spot.
My most exciting thing that I'm waiting for is actually right up your alley with your astronomy studies. Is like we're going to be able to see what atmospheres are made of planets circling other stars.
That's right. And we'll
That's
be able
insanity.
to tell. We will be able to tell whether there's a good suggestion there's an oxygen atmosphere around a certain planet or not.
Yep.
We'll get to tell whether there's atmosphere at all. You know,
that's just insane to me. Like we'll be able to see planets around other stars and see their atmospheres and determine whether they are similar to our own.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the James Webb is going to be the telescope that actually finds Earth 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because not only that, but it has so many things that can point at other stars.
Yeah, Rita Mills says it's very exciting. I agree, Rita.
Super exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, and Newbie Fixer is saying, he's very excited about the James Webb, JWST. Yeah, I think it's very, very cool, and we have a lot to look forward to. On SkyTour Livestream and SkyTour Radio, we talk about JWST all the time. I actually did a show on Gaia yesterday, Gaia TV, and I do that with a guy over there named Hunter, and we talked about JWST last time I was there. This time we talked about the mystery bursts out in the universe that are coming in, and that was a very cool, interesting story. So, the universe is throwing things at us that we don't understand, that JWST is going to help decipher a lot of these mysteries. I really look forward to it.
I've said it from the beginning that James Webb Telescope is going to be what the Apollo moon landing was to the 60s.
I think it will
us,
be.
Discovery-wise, and making headway forward and giving us targets, for that matter.
Yeah, and that's true, Rita. We're living in a very exciting time. Lots going on, as Rita says. And there's no doubt that when we look at the data that the James Webb Telescope sends back, we're going to have decades of discovery to follow.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Mm.
Without a doubt.
It's a very interesting time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish this Earth could just, become a little more peaceful and everybody get behind one thing. It's not going to happen. I don't think in our lifetimes. There's too many people worried about borders and not worried about
never mind
moving
that.
forward.
The question is, get behind one thing. That means one ruling body.
No, I mean get behind one idea, one movement for mankind, for humanity going forward.
Yeah, well, that movement should be to get away from Earth because we're going to need to.
Should be. But once again, everybody's worried about where the border is here on Earth and where their borders are and, what country they're from and all that other stuff. One day, people are going to realize that none of that matters. None of it.
Well,
your little imaginary lines separating countries and it's just not going to matter.
While countries still take tax money from you.
Sure.
Then, for the citizens, you can't support with tax money and taxing higher and higher amounts. You can't support people coming in and just like showing up and saying, okay, I'm here now, pay me. I want to be on welfare or whatever. You can't support that. So it has to be done smartly. So I agree, borders are a problem, but we don't have right now. There's no
there's no alternative. I get it.
Not now. I mean,
right.
But the time will come.
Well, it was what the UN was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a body where all countries can come together, agree on certain things, but now it's just become the same kind of debating political front that every other thing has become. You have your powerful people on one side, and then you have your less powerful countries on the other side, and they feel neglected just like they always have. But it's faking them out by making them think that they have a voice in something. We know that they don't. It's all up to the super. It's Russia, China, United States. Pretty much UK, Australia, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
And until that dynamic changes and we actually start listening to the smaller, because if you actually do your homework, some of these smaller countries have really good ideas. They just don't have the means to enact them.
Yeah.
And places like the United States and Russia and China can all learn from these smaller countries, but they refuse to because they're all set in their ways.
Yeah,
this country is so red, white, and blue that it would make you vomit sometimes, But
power
speaks. I'm not saying I don't like my country because I do. It's great.
You better not be saying.
But anybody who says that the United States can't be improved is lying to themselves.
Yeah, of course not.
I just like to see everybody get and once again, I think Reagan said it, and I think Carter said it before that. What's it going to take? Is it going to take an alien visitation for finally the world to just go, okay, we're now humanity, not individual parts of humanity. We still will have our individualism where we are around the globe, but when are we finally going to take the stand and be like, okay, now we are doing this for any and all people that have lived, or ever going to live on this planet as humans to move forward.
Well, there you go again.
That's the tough part, man. It's sad.
Yeah.
But that might be what it takes. Is it going to take a hostile alien force, or is it just going to take a friendly alien to come by and be like, okay, now we stick together? And then eventually, if we do it that way, we become friendly with aliens. Eventually, in the future, it's going to be separation by that. You know, like, okay, we're human and they're this, whatever they are. And then you're going to have that separation. So, I don't know. Maybe it's a natural progression.
They're
Who knows?
octopi.
Octopi. I still can't get over that. Octopi. Oh, yeah, you eat one of them. What did he say it tastes like? Or the consistency was? It was something gross. I don't know. I'm not eating anything with suction cups. That's just where I draw the line. And
I think that an octopus is an intelligent animal, and we did an entire show on octopus.
yeah.
They're very smart creatures, and I'd have one as a pet if I could. But I just
Oh, Mark, Sleepy Joe figured this out. Hide your Freemason stuff. Hold on, let me put away my Project Bluebeam blueprints. Hold on.
Yeah, Sleepy. No, this has nothing to do with.
Yeah, stop being stupid. Jesus. Oh no, you're talking about science. That all actually makes you a shill. Shut up. My lord. I don't get it.
I don't know why you're saying that either, but Sleepy
Because
Joe.
that's what people do. Oh no, science. You're not vomiting the stupid conspiracy theories all the time. Oh, you must be shill. You must be paid government agents.
Okay, well, if it makes you feel better, yeah.
Sure.
Sure, okay.
Tell them where to send the check. You want me to be a paid? I'm telling you right now on the stream, government, if you're listening, if you want to pay me to spout true science, I am open for business. Come to my house. Let's have a talk.
Oh. Okay, in all fairness, okay, Sleepy Joe, make your case. Tell us what the deal is. Tell us what you're talking about. I'm always willing to listen to people if they got something to say.
Sure, but it's going to be the same crap.
We don't know yet. When it's the same crap, we'll call it the same crap.
Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Here you go.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I won't do it, but as soon as I see those talking points, those bullet points from conspiracy channels, I can see it coming from a mile away.
I know. We all can. But let's just see what happens.
I think it'd actually be kind of cool to be a shill.
Well, I mean...
We're not pushing a one world government. Who said we're pushing one? I'm just saying we can have our individual governments. I'm just saying eventually we're going to, as humanity as a whole, is going to need to come together to do something instead of fighting each other all the time. That's the basic point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to have...
Yeah, I'm not for a one world government.
I'm not either, because who would be the leader? I'm not for that.
Yeah.
Our luck would be that little fat pot-bellied pig who runs North Korea. I don't want that.
Yeah.
No, the point I think is that, we have to be more cooperative. And here's where we'll be cooperative, and we are already in the science arena. We share all of our data.
Yeah.
Did you know that? We share our data.
Sure. Maybe not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul's already beat up. I'm going to tell him we're going to wrap it at midnight. That way we'll be done.
Okay.
That way he's pretty beat from the day.
Okay. I'll see. Sleepy Joe got timed out.
You didn't have to time him out.
Fantasy timed him out.
I'm pretty sure his PhD from an Ivy League school would have told us something. Eventually.
What is that?
It's my phone beeping Paul.
Oh.
Yeah, I was actually kind of interested to see where that was going.
Well, look, as a civilization on this planet, we've divided into little tribes and then little sections we call our countries. I get it. But let's actually go to it. Let's go to a more realistic approach. What will be
in math? I didn't even catch that, David. Got a PhD in math from an Ivy League.
What would a real alien race? How would they work it so that their civilization could go to the stars? They would have to fall under one particular umbrella to all come together in order to do it. And it would have to be through a rigorous application of some science. So from a science perspective, maybe there is a science directorate um, in their alien culture that is made up of the scientists who create all the things that their planet will enjoy. And who knows? And maybe that's how it works. But you can still have individual countries, and the science directorate is their UN, maybe,
Right.
and responsible for getting the population off the planet or getting the science teams off the planet to start exploring the universe. And but that comes from having a science team to to with an advanced enough technology to go to a distant planet. So I think that sooner or later we're gonna do that. We're doing it now with the International Space Station, just at a more primitive level. So that's what we're talking about by coming under one umbrella. We have the Japan Space Agency, JAXA.
Yeah.
We have Roscosmos. We have the Russians.
By the
We
way,
have
that's
America.
a good point. That's a good point, Michael Bird. It's a very fine line to walk.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
say
like
it
I
would be
said-
easy by any means.
Like I said, with the International Space Station, we have many countries all coming together to manage it and design it and put up the different units, the different modules. Okay, we all came together to do it.
Right.
And the Russians launch us to the space station. Elon Musk launches rockets to bring up cargo and supplies, as does the Russians. So and of course NASA does. So we all work together on that, and that's the cooperative thing we're talking about. That's the quote unquote one world order that we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, this was kind of fun going through this tonight.
Yeah. Good times. Hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow night, but no guarantees. It depends on what the weather's doing and depends how busy we are. And
No one wants to see.
But it's always good to hang out with you peeps. You guys are good people.
Hey there, Timtron.
Imtron.
Yeah, actually, remember, humans are a virus, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. So happy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll wrap up this thing, and then we'll pop some music back on for you.
Wrap up the salad.
And then what we'll do is we'll end the stream, and then hopefully maybe see you tomorrow night. No promises, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, just wrap up your Turkish bean salad, man.
Yep. That's how you do it.
All right.
Turkish bean salad.
Michael says hi. Hello, Michael.
Michael says hi. All right, Mark, I will let you go. Once again, you can catch Mark Sundays 6 to 8 p.m. on KGRA Radio. And also the Sky Tour live stream here on YouTube, where you can look at deep sky objects live with live processing, and you can actually download all the photos that you do in the session. 5 seconds after they're taken.
Literally just seconds after they're taken, they're up on our live server, which is available 24/7.
Yep.
So you can, if you go to my Facebook site, Mark D'Antonio on Facebook, or you go to Sky Tour live stream on Facebook, or you go to any one of our streams on YouTube, in the description of the stream is the link to the server. You can go check it out any time of the day or night and check out the objects. They're all named. You know where you're going. You just go into those directories and dig. You'll find directories of photographs. You'll also find stacked images that are literally image sandwiches that make the images better and better and better with every exposure that's getting aligned and stacked on top of each other. It's a very well-known, very old process, and we're doing it. And so there's really no other observatory on Earth that's doing this right now. I mean, we actually we have a telescope that runs 25 times faster than most telescopes of its size. It's a 10-inch telescope.
Yeah.
And we see things that would take many minutes to capture a single exposure. We see them in mere seconds. We do 15-second exposures that could be 15-minute exposures if there was anything other than what we have. So that said, hopefully you guys can check it out. And that is at SkyTour Livestream. And I will put the address up one more time.
There you go. Click the link in the chat there if you want to go over and join Sky Tour live stream. Mark, thanks again for joining me. I'll probably hit you up right after I close out the stream. But until then, sir, have a great night.
Who you calling, sir?
You MFer.
Hey, be nice, or you're gonna get your bean salad screwed up.
All right, Mark, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Thank you for joining us once again.
Hey, brother.
And guys, thank you for joining us tonight. It'll be a little bit of music, and then we'll be peacing out for the night. So by the way, goodbye, Mark. I'm going to hang up on you now.
No worries. All right, guys.
buddy.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope everybody had a pretty good viewing experience tonight. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, thanks, guys.
Go.